Welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming, or perhaps you are seeing this on the League of Average Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler, and I have just completed a run on my channel, Taco Bowler Gaming, playing as Aragon into Spain, into Rome, going for the borders of Mare Nostrum achievement, and actually a little bit more. So the goals of the campaign were to form the Roman Empire and all of the borders that it had for the Mare Nostrum achievement, including having all of the coastal line here on the Black Sea, and then also all of this coastline here in the Mediterranean. All of Africa, Northern Africa there like that. Then also, the original goal was to subjugate Russia, but it wound up being that recognizing that Paradox, if this were an actual achievement, would say own or have a subject own Moscow. So that was one of the pieces of the thing as well. In order to truly beat Rome, we had to knock out all the competition. So we would own or have a subject own Moscow, known as Third Rome. Obviously, we would own Second Rome, Byzantium, or Constantinople, just simply by being the Roman Empire. That's needed. And then, obviously, we would own Rome. But also, there's this pesky thing called the Holy Roman Empire. So, we needed to also be elected to the emperorship of the Holy Roman Empire. And only then could we truly call ourselves the heir of Rome. In addition, I wanted to play around with the culture mechanics. And so I set another goal of converting all of the land that we needed for the Mare Nostrum achievement to Roman. So that is what our goal was, and we've decided to begin as the powerful nation of Aragon, who does have some pretty good missions to make this happen. So we're going to go relatively quickly because we did obviously get to 1818. So one of the first things I did do the no CB strategy. So I now have Byzantium as a vassal, and then I took this all land for myself and Naples. I've also just taken Navarra rather than PUing it. And so we are beginning to attack. You will find that I attack into Africa, and then try to attack into Italy, and then try to attack into the Ottomans, and just kind of try to spread our aggressive expansion around. We did get a pretty early Iberian wedding, I think. But that's what we'll try and do. And so you'll begin to see Castile eat into Portugal. That was just the idea, was we're going to go Christian and then Sunni and then Christian and then Sunni and just go back and forth to try to spread the aggressive expansion around. And that worked okay, except for the fact that both Italy with the Papal State and France were proving to be diplomatically problematic, and that they would be that they were really strong in facing against me. And it never really seemed like that great of an idea, so what wound up happening was that we were in Northern Africa, sure, but it wound up just being between Northern Africa, Portugal, Balkans, for quite some time until we finally make headway. We did get Genoa here. Not Genoa proper, but we did get one base here. So now you see Byzantium has grown significantly. That is always good. Serbia grows, and then I will form a vassal here of Bulgaria. There are a lot of vassals in this game. I'll try to remember to point them all out. But you can see that we are Spain now, and we have taken into Portugal, and now we annex Naples. So at that point, I'm looking for new vassals. So we have Jeremian and Bulgaria in hopes of getting these. And then Jeremian had some, I think, like one claim over here, but we take some from Karaman. Now you can see I've taken this province up here. I think I have to give it back at some point. Give it back to Brittany in hopes to vassalize them, but then I was too far away. So Provence takes over, and then I will take this over again and release Brittany. There it is. That's a vassal of mine. And I will then conquer Provence. Oh, there it is. Armagnac. I have also taken that. You can see growth over here. Now, Commonwealth, let's stop for a minute. Commonwealth was a pain in my side. At this point, I was fighting Commonwealth. I think I fought Commonwealth a couple of times. I actually struggled most of the game with other nations being the defender of the faith, and Commonwealth was the defender of the Catholic faith. And they actually had more morale than I did, by a significant amount, for a couple of times that I fought against them around this period. And ultimately I will break them. You'll see Bulgaria take this. That's when I finally broke them. But they were a pain in my side for quite some time until they weren't. And we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, so Provence is gone, and so I will turn this little province into Provence as another vassal in a bit, and then we will begin finally conquering France. Brittany takes some land, Armagnac takes some land. There's Provence. That is me. They've taken some land. I annexed that over here, and so then I will fight the Mamluks, and I will release Syria. Not sure how many more vassals there are after that. Besides Gaeldom up here in Scotland. I would take over Scotland, and these two were Scotland, and that was a march of mine for a long time in hopes that I could use them to invade Great Britain, but ultimately I did wind up just invading from the south like normal. And Rome has been conquered. I want to slow down briefly to say that Rome has been conquered. You can see Bulgaria over here growing, and Provence took quite a bit of Savoy. Syria has formed, or been released by me. I also have, Trebizond, so we'll slowly grow out this way. We are defeating the Commonwealth. We're pushing against them, and pushing against the Ottomans, and pushing against Italy. The Pope is gone. I don't know if they ever got re-released. I actually don't think they did. Bulgaria has been annexed. Brittany has been annexed. Things are beginning to grow in that way. You see that we have completed the conquest down here. We are connected all the way across with our vassal of Syria. And I'm going to pause again. I've taken all of this land from Imerti, and then I full annexed Imerti, and I actually gave the land to Aquayanla. So this is also my march. They will eventually be dropped very late game, but that is also my march over here. So we continue. This land is mine. It's Provence. Okay, so yeah. Commonwealth has taken Muscovy. It is about that moment where I got a notification that the Commonwealth had died without an heir. Brandenburg had taken over the throne of the Commonwealth, but we, as the Commonwealth's largest rival, could challenge for the throne. And I did. At that point, Commonwealth became a personal union. They went from one of the major nations I was trying desperately to avoid having in the coalition to a personal union, a subject state. And we were able to bring them under control. We also had a lot of allies. Let's talk about our allies for a while. For a while we had Russia, but that fell apart. Ajam was an ally for a while. We would eventually get Transoxiana. Yemen would be an ally. Marahine is an ally. But our largest ally and most important ally throughout most of the game was Austria itself. And that would wind up bearing fruit, as well as they would die without an heir. And we would actually take over without a fight. So we wind up with a personal union on Austria, a personal union on the Commonwealth, and our personal union on Austria takes its own problems, and we'll get to that in a bit. So we are just trying to take out the Ottomans, trying to take out Ajam, trying to figure out when they go from friend to foe, so we can take this land down in here. We just kind of keep pushing along. Just keep going. And the France, major stuff, we are now beginning to really push. So let's talk here, because I have now done the first of them. Well, let's actually let the conquest of Britain happen. There it is. And very soon, here we go. So we've finally gotten into Britain. Yay. But you'll notice that I have given up a lot of this. Because Austria was a personal union, Austria had land that I needed, and I just hadn't turned them from friend to foe. So I had to actually lose a couple of wars. I had to lose a war to Lorraine, and then I accidentally got some of that land back to Austria, so I had to lose the war to Lorraine again. And I had to lose this war to Venice, because I needed Vienna in mind control. And you can't just seize land. You especially can't seize a capital from a personal union. I needed these two. I needed these two. And Austria had them, so I had to lose those to then take them back in the next war. It was really annoying, but it was worth it to have Austria. You notice Persia has also been formed by a jam. They will go revolutionary. Revolution was a problem in the very late game. At this point, Bavaria is the emperor. For whatever that is worth, they were the emperor for a very long time. So now it's just a matter of taking the land. We'll take Savoy. We'll take some more of Britain. We'll try to get this back. I actually had to defeat rebels that were trying to give Vienna back to Austria so that we would have the ability to take that from Venice when the time came. And so at this point, I'm also beginning the culture conversions. I wound up being a little bit late on that. So yeah, you can see I wound up giving that back to Austria. So fail. We had to lose again and then go take it back. But we have successfully done that. And in around 1754, 1751, give or take, we formed the Roman Empire. And then much of the remaining time was spent taking these islands up here, knocking Great Britain off of their own home islands. We would also take this for Liège, just to get up here, and connect ourselves to Zealand. And then eventually we will actually conquer Bavaria. The goal for becoming Emperor of the HRE was achieved by vassalizing 4 electors. And I actually had to stop culture converting for a while because some of those electors were really angry that I was converting things from their culture. But right around this point, we take land from Bavaria, immediately declare again, and Bavaria becomes our vassal because I had my 4 electors finally voting for me, and we become Emperor of the HRE. So now it's just a matter of trying to run out the clock and convert things. We have Scotland winds up going there. I didn't really care about cleaning up the empire or anything like that. We'll have the revolution go crazy over here. Persia becomes revolutionary, and then I defeated them. And then, actually, after I defeated them, they got... The revolution continued. I defeated them with a Crush the Revolution CB and the Crush the Revolution piece. And then the revolution continued to spread. And Transoxiana became revolutionary, and then it spread. Got a new center of revolution. It didn't make much sense. We wound up with Malwa, and Bamanas fought it, but Vijayanyar became revolutionary. Lots of nations over here. I didn't quite understand why it came back. I don't understand how the new mechanics wind up working. But here it is. Now, as far as culture goes, we were able to convert almost everything. The only one in the old Roman Empire that we were unable to convert was Venice itself. It is going to be done on May 2nd, 1826, which is, of course, 5 years after the end of the game. I have no clue why this one went so much slower than all the rest. And if anyone can help me with that, I'd be very appreciative to know why this one went so much slower than all the rest of the provinces that we were trying to convert. But that's the only one we failed to convert. The rest is all Roman, which I was pretty happy with. I called that a success. Let's go ahead and talk about my ideas. Took religious ideas first because of the culture conversion cost, as well as, we have to convert everything. Then I took diplomatic and offensive, because that is one of my favorite starts, is religious, diplomatic, and offensive, because you can have 140% religious unity if you do that, and combined with a good tolerance of the truth faith, you can pretty much kill all rebels before they even spawn. Then we took administrative ideas for the governing capacity, but it also helped with core creation cost and all of that stuff. And then we wound up taking defensive ideas. This would have been about the time that we were facing the Commonwealth, and they had better morale than even Spain, and I was kind of worried about that, so we took that for the morale. Then influence ideas, because they have a policy with religious ideas or culture conversion cost. So we took that as well. That was about the time we were trying to annex a lot of the main vassals, so it didn't hurt that they also have diplomatic annexation cost in both policy and idea. And then we took quantity in hopes of building up a larger army and maybe persuading the coalition to go away, which was successful. And then we took humanists, didn't take humanists because we do have a parliament, and trying to get the culture conversion cost, parliament idea needed to not be humanist. So we took humanist and then got rid of humanist and then brought humanist back. Once I didn't have to worry about that anymore, I'd hit the button for all of them so that we could get years of separatism modifier back, because I actually had to hand one of my provinces off to Luxembourg because it was their core, and then I tried to seize it back, and when I seized it back, they actually got some separatism, and so I had to get that separatism back down to hope to bring that in, which, like, again, I know it's not the same development of 42, but even London, I guess London took sort of similar, but just really long down in Venice, and it didn't cost that much. That's what had me so intrigued. Like, London cost 60 some odd points, and Venice only cost 31, but maybe I had enough modifiers in at that point. But yeah, so that was the ideas and why we did them. We took some policies, we shuffled those a lot in hopes of getting more and more and more power. I did successfully get all of the technologies, so that was pretty good. And yeah, I would say it was a successful run. I know I didn't quite achieve everything I wanted with one province in culture conversion, but I think it was a very successful run. And Paradox, if you're listening, this is a nice, very hard achievement of, you know, true era of Rome, where not only are you doing the old Roman borders at their height, a la Mare Nostrum style, but also you're taking out, you know, Moscow and becoming the Emperor of the Hre, which we are. Let's just show that we are. It was a nice, challenging run, and it would not be a very bad achievement to have. I would thoroughly enjoy being able to display that on my Steam account. So that was this run. There will be, at the end of this video, a playlist, hopefully on both channels, but definitely on mine, playlist that will show the Roman Empire, a playlist also of all of my timeline videos, most of which are shorter than this one. So for all the games that I've played, both online and off, a simple summary video. This will also go up on the League of Average Gaming. So if you are watching this on my channel, go check out the League of Average Gaming. The link is in the description. If you're on the League of Average Gaming, go check out my channel. The link probably is in the description. I don't know what he does with that, but I would bet that it is in the description. So that is this campaign. It was very fun to do. I always love playing Spain. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite nation in the game. So check it out and watch as I go. But I have been TBARW Gaming, and I will see you whenever I see you.